Israel's defense minister has pushed back against international calls for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, saying the operation against Hamas will, quote, take time. Israeli officials say that they will start inspecting aid shipments headed to Gaza at the Kalim Shalom crossing from Tuesday in a bid to allow more humanitarian supplies to enter the territory. Palestinians have been marching in solidarity with the people in Gaza as conditions there worsen by the day.
They march in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza. In the West Bank, people say it is the least they can do. That sentiment echoes here too, in Jerusalem. Palestinians have closed shop and gone on strike to show their support. Similar rallies and closures seen again in Lebanon.
This is a day in solidarity with the Palestinian people, because there's nothing we can do but seriously stand in solidarity with them, be it financially, psychologically, or socially.
The solidarity they speak of is against Israeli airstrikes, pounding Gaza day after day. So far, the Hamas-run health ministry speaks of more than 18,000 people killed.
I was watching the news, and all of a sudden, I feel everything cave in on top of me. The children were sitting. I couldn't see a thing.
Many among the dead and wounded are children.
There are a large number of children who have arrived with amputations to their upper and lower limbs. The number of martyrs are in the tens. They have been sent to the martyrs' tent. There are still a number of them beneath the rubble at Al-Maghazi camp and other areas in the central province.
Israel says it is targeting Hamas infrastructure to ensure that a terror attack like the one on October 7 can never happen again. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claims many Hamas fighters had surrendered to the Israeli army. Seen in this video, he says that it is for Hamas the beginning of the end.
Aid groups have described the situation in Gaza as apocalyptic, prompting international calls for a ceasefire. DW Special Correspondent Aya Ibrahim is in Jerusalem and told us how that is being received in Israel.
It cannot be emphasized enough. According to all humanitarian organizations, the situation in Gaza is catastrophic, as you said, apocalyptic. We're looking at an estimated 90% of the population of the Gaza Strip that has been displaced. 90% of the population. Some have been displaced more than once, when civilians were first asked to evacuate from the north to the south, and now there are also parts in the south that they have been asked to evacuate from. And so there's also the logistical challenge of how to get aid to people that need it within the Gaza Strip when there's near constant bombardment and an ongoing ground offensive. And humanitarian organizations have been very vocal in their demand for a ceasefire in order to save what at this point can be saved for the civilians in the Gaza Strip. The Israel is very defensive about these accusations. We heard today the spokesperson for the Prime Minister's office say that it's humanitarian organizations that need to fulfill their mandate, so to speak, to get the aid to the people that need it. He said that the UN is not being firm enough with Hamas militants using safe zones as launching pads for rockets. And he said that there's a bottleneck at the Rafah border, which is no surprise because prior to the war, the Rafah crossing was really not made for the volume that is needed to go through. And that's currently the only crossing open. The crossings from Israel to Gaza are closed. The Israeli officials have said that one of these crossings between Israel and Gaza, the Kerem Shalom crossing, which was prior to the war, 60% of all goods coming in and out of Gaza went through Kerem Shalom, that it may be open in the near future for inspection. Not for the passage of goods, but for inspection, and that might help with the bottleneck. But they've been defensive about these accusations that they are responsible for the humanitarian catastrophe in the Strip.